Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I'm your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the best bridge crew this side of a mysterious release date that we still don't have, and
Just
maybe
keeps
never will.
eluding us, right?
Maybe season 3 will come out in 900 years and meet Michael Burnham. I don't know. It's eluding us. I'm joined tonight by Captain Hawk, alongside also our very dear friends from Open Pike Night, which can only mean one thing. It's Strange New Worlds Season 3 Wants and Don't Wants, which we have a shit ton to go through. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. If this is a big if, and we were literally just talking about this off mic, Tribeca Film Festival is any, indicator of what we're going to get. We're maybe about a month away, or a month and a half, like a week away from Strange New World Season 3. Fingers crossed. But we are 1 month away at this recording of the Season 3 premiere at Tribeca. So that's why we're doing it. 1 month until some people get to see it.
Are any of those people here in this chat, Julian?
Hey,
This guy.
that's awesome.
Listen, that is maybe like one of the biggest gambles I've ever taken. I was like, shit, I'm gonna apply for Tribeca. They're like, you're approved. I'm like, okay.
So cool.
The worst part about this is I get like 20 emails a day from like these films being like, review our movie. And I'm like, I'm just here for Star Trek, guys.
Should go to all of them and review them, but only through a Star Trek lens. Like, there were not
Right.
enough Star Trek actors in this
Yeah.
movie. Not enough going to warp in this movie.
Where
for me.
was the logic?
Where was there any kind of Pike's Peak? That is
Yeah,
the better
exactly.
question. How you guys been doing? It's been a bit. I think the last time we did this together was Wants and Don't Want Season 2.
That would only
Yeah.
be 1 year ago, right, Julian? That would make
Right.
sense.
1 year, one season.
That
Yeah.
would make sense, Cam. That would make a lot of sense.
It's been a long road.
It really has. And we're primarily a Strange New Worlds podcast. I can't tell you how hard we have been scraping the idea barrel. We're like, what do we do? What do we talk about? So, of course, right now we're talking about season 2 of Discovery, since we get some Strange New Worlds characters there. But man, it has been a slog.
Yes,
2
it
freaking
has.
years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We're ready. We're ready
Yeah.
to find out what happened to that Gorn.
Dude, I just want to know if Captain Patel is gonna live. That's where I'm at right now. That's one of my wants. We'll get there.
Mhm.
I also need to point out that Giraffe was gonna be here originally tonight, but she had to stay late at work. So as she pointed out, and I also pointed out, this is a sausage fest. We are having a sausage fest pod, which is fine.
This
We'll
is
make
what
it
the
work.
male gaze wants.
Yeah,
in
with a
this
male
Yeah.
gaze, exactly.
Who doesn't like sausage?
Giraffe did mention, though, because of this, that she might actually do like a pink tax and record an all-female Wants and Don't Want. So
That'd be cool.
different takes. I think it'll be
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
I hope they do it. But you get us boys tonight. That's right. So we are just gonna get things moving because I'm sure you understand a lot of wants, a lot of don't wants. But a very quick shout out to our Badmirals, our EPs: Simon Stager, Chris Waterman, Tara Poland, Brett Jones, Dana, Matt Harker, and Jim McMahon. You keep Ortega's and Pike's hair. Very, very epic. Always making it look good. So thank you, EPs. I'm going to just go through this news very quickly. We have 1 ticket giveaway to Trek Long Island so far. So congratulations to one of our EPs, Chris Waterman. I guess hadn't bought his tickets yet and was like, I'm entering this contest, and did. So you're going to Trek Long Island on behalf of Trek Long Island. So I'll get you details on how to redeem that. You too can get free Trek Long Island tickets. We have 3 left to give away. And our new code, all you have to do is DM us on Instagram or Blue Sky. The word Pike. That's it. Pike. And the first 3 people to do that, they get those tickets. So enter that, go to an awesome convention for free. We'll be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully. And then
Hey, last year was a great time.
last year was great with you guys. We had good eats. We had
Yeah.
good times. You guys had incredible merch at your table. I bought your Jagal shirt, which I wear proudly like every week.
Excellent.
So yeah, I love that shirt. Speaking of merch, our merch store is open finally. It took 3.5 years to like bring merch back, but we did it. There's some really cool stuff on there. A lot of awesome designs from MC and Eric. Go check it out. It's strangenewpod.bigcartel.com. A big thank you to John, who, like, I picked your brain so much about like how you guys do it and what systems you use, and I went with your system and I love it. So it was pretty easy to use. Thank you for your inspiration.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Yeah. That's it. Let's get right to this, guys. Wants and don't wants. Strange New World season 3. It looks like we're almost there. We're gonna go in alphabetical order tonight with mailbag. Your mailbags, both from Open Pike and Strange New Pod, mixed into the show. I will go Cam, Hawk, Jesse, John, followed by myself. And they'll just be shenanigans.
I love that our
Along the
alphabetical order ends on the 10th letter of the alphabet.
It does. Right? And we don't even start with an A.
Yep.
We are going to start our wants and don't wants with a mailbag tonight. And Hawk, I'm going to have you take this one. Can you read Champion D's mailbag, please?
Absolutely. From Champion D. More Una, please. I always felt she and Pike should receive more of the focus out of the trio. So much has been developed about Spock, but not so much about the other two, particularly Una. So I'd love more focus on her, in addition to more dedication to moving the characters forward in concrete ways. Colin and Jedi Cat from the S&P Collective also echoed this. Also, more Una #1, more Pike Una, please.
Yeah, what do you guys think about this? A lot of love for Una in this mailbag.
I agree with it. I love Una. I do sometimes get the sense that this show writes to the availability of the actors. Like, for example, Anson Mount had the baby before season 2, and he was not in the first couple episodes. And I'm sure that's not something they planned for, right? But, like, I could see an actor going either way with this. Like, hey, could I have, like, 10 fewer lines per episode because I've got other stuff going on? Or, hey, can I be in more of each episode? I could see an actor going either way with that. And it feels like this writing team would try to accommodate that. So really, it's on Rebecca Romaine. Like, do you want to be on this show? Do you want to be in more of it?
She doesn't have a big high-profile movie.
No,
coming out sometime in the
not
future,
some
does she?
like Disney project, right? Like something with the MCU, I think.
Not a bit. Not at all.
No.
Sounds made up to me.
What now?
If people don't know what we're talking about, because we do have some fans who just only watch Star Trek and don't watch anything else. Rebecca Romaine played Mystique in the X-Men movies, and she's back, and she is playing that character in Avengers Doomsday with like a cast that literally had a 6-hour announcement a few months ago. It was wild. But that could be a factor, yeah? Like
My guess would be that it would be more of a factor for season 4.
That's what I'm thinking.
Fair.
Yeah.
No, good point, because season 3 has been filmed for like ever.
The cans that season 3 in are like dusty. They'd been ready for so long.
I just hope that if she does miss some episodes in season 4, that her husband Jerry O'Connell just plays #1. And they just don't even reference it. He's just in her outfits the whole time.
I mean, listen, they could cross over again and just Ransom is #1 for like a few, a couple episodes. It's like I could learn the old stuff. I love the TOS guys. Like, it would be great. I'd love that.
Those old scientists versus those old jocks. I'm here for them.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I'm always here for more Una. There was a moment in the finale that like I gushed over where she's on the bridge and the whole stuff like with the Gorn is happening, and she just like gets this really locked in look on her face. And I'm like, I want an episode where she is just like locked in like that. If you haven't picked up Toward the Night yet by James Swallow, the brand new Strange New Worlds book, do it, because Una has moments like that in that book. And it's really good. So if you are hungry and maybe want to pass the time, pick up that book. It's awesome. We just interviewed the author. That'll be out next week. Any other thoughts on Una before we keep going?
I think because Ortegas gets #Mortegas, we should come up with a hashtag for Una. And I'm thinking we go French with it because it rhymes. #Pluduna.
Pluduna? Okay. I was going to go Una Tegas, which probably doesn't work at all. But
Graf might be cool with it, but
maybe. Just real quick before we do move on, I also, anytime we get more Anson on the screen, is good, and obviously the paternity leave was a big deal last year. Probably not a factor this year. Hopefully he's in like all 10 episodes, but I guess we'll find out soon. We had a lot of wants there, Cam. Let's go down to you. Let's get a don't want. What don't you want from season 3?
All right. Well, I think, this was originally a want for me. And now that we know it's happening, I think season 2, a lot of people, we knew about the musical episode, and that was going to be their anchor episode for that season. They're like, this better not suck. I've been wanting a Star Trek musical for years and years and years. And if this episode sucks, everything is shattered. And it wasn't that for me, but now I understand, because now we know we are getting a zombie episode, and I do not want that zombie episode to suck. I want Star Trek's first legitimate zombie episode to be as zombie-licious as I know it can be, especially if we hope Davey Perez is writing it. I know he's got a lot of zombie credential. There's a lot of horror fans on that writing room that I know can bring the heat for a true zombie Star Trek episode. So just please do not suck.
So you don't want the zombie episode to suck.
That's right.
I
That's
like
what I
it.
don't want.
What's your
point
question?
of contention? Did we already get a zombie episode in Enterprise years ago?
Perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah,
about
I count
Enterprise.
that as a zombie episode. With
That was a great zombie episode.
was that the Klingons or the Vulcans? I forget.
Vulcans.
The Vulcans.
they
There's
went
Vulcan
into the
zombies?
There's a Vulcan zombie episode.
I'm working my way slowly through Enterprise.
You
I've
watch
got
these-
something to look forward to.
Find the episode. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it is fantastic.
Good to know. Good to know they have
But a
something to build on
modern
then. Yeah.
zombie episode for sure. Those Klingons look gnarly.
Yeah.
They look so awesome.
Yeah.
Klingon zombies. I mean, already it's inspired. So
Yeah, it's
here
hard
for
to
it.
like dial up the heat on the word zombie. But you put Klingon in front of it, and it's like, I mean,
pretty effective.
It works, and it does look like they're gonna tie Mbenga's story into that. And I'm like, obviously he's going there to help because he feels responsible for like, some Klingon stuff. Like,
well, you got to get the medical team in there, of course. Yeah.
I'm excited, and you guys, I'm on
Also-
record in more than one place as saying I don't care about zombie stuff, but if you make it Star Trek, that's probably gonna work on me.
That's how you're going to get Jesse to care about it. I mean, those white medical suits are made for splashing blood.
Oh
on.
my god!
yeah.
Right? Yes.
Green
Yes.
blood.
Yep. Yeah. Or pink Pepto Bismol
Pink.
blood.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what it's going to be.
Oh my god.
I like that chain weapon, like whatever that is.
Mhm.
And I actually kind of hope Kirk is in the zombie episode because no, but like, think about it. He hates the Klingons so much, and this could just lead more into that mythos. It's like zombie Klingons, Klingon assassination attempts. Klingons take over a planet. I have to deal with their bullshit. They send me to Rur Penthe. Like, I really fucking hate these guys, and to have him have to deal with Klingon zombies could be like the start of that hatred.
I like that.
True.
Yeah. Right. I we'll see. I'm excited for that episode. I like the overgrown look of it. It's just like, it's almost a little like quadricep, like Last of Us a little bit. If everybody, I don't know how many people watch Last of Us here, but ever played it.
Yep.
So yeah.
I need to. But even just the shot of them running out the door with the zombie chain, like
Yeah.
it just feels like 28 Days Later or something. Like it feels
Yeah.
like
my
every
god, you and I
running
had to
zombie
think the
movie.
same
It's
thing.
so good.
I really hope the episode is called 28 Telecams Later. I would be absolutely here for that.
28 kilograms.
You
Yes.
just reminded me that 28 years later is coming out at the end of June. So
Yeah. Yeah.
That trailer is just like,
Spoots.
it's spooky. We have our first Open Pike mailbag. Which one of you guys want to take this mailbag here?
Is a mailbag anything like a sausage fest?
Tonight it is.
Okay.
Tonight it is.
All right, just checking.
Yep.
I don't know who can do the best German accent.
Oh boy.
I was gonna ask if we should attempt that. I don't know if that's disrespectful or extra respectful, but we are fortunate as Open Pike Night to be able to at least bring some lady wants with us, even though we don't have any here on camera. But our very good friend and devoted Anson Mount acolyte Melanie from Germany says, My wants for season 3: Pike, Pike, Pike. Pike with a ripped shirt. Pike in more and even more fight scenes. Pike mind melding with Spock. Having a good time with Joseph Mbenga. Just more Pike in general. Maybe there could even be a mirror Pike. I would also like to see more of Erica Ortegas and Jenna Mitchell. I'm going to have to just agree across the board with Melanie on all those
Yes.
points. Those are absolutely lined right up with my list of things I would like to see.
We do need more torn shirts on men in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
We're
good
in that
point.
era.
It's-
We're in
yeah.
the era.
Yeah.
I would say torn shirts and like barely any red shirts have died,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
disappointing.
More dead red shirts, please.
Yeah. Got to stick with a little bit of tradition here.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
But only
Yeah.
this episodes with Kirk.
That's
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. I like this part from Melanie about having a good time with Mbenga. You know, in it was Charades when he's got like the fishing gear on. It's like I would love to see a like Daddy Pike Mbenga fishing trip.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it would be good. Like on Starbase 1, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe they pull some like a Moopsie up or something. I don't know. You know.
I want more of their backstory. They've
Yeah,
been teasing
exactly.
Yeah,
it would
that's
be
true.
it'd be a
Yeah.
flashback and forward,
And then
fishing
since
and reflecting.
Yeah, they clearly have this great bond, and then Mbenga has just been lying to Pike since he's come on his ship. First about his daughter, and now about what happened with the Klingon ambassador. Like, there's some rich soil to dig in there.
So much.
Mm.
Yeah.
We know that Pike also loves to fish. He said he wanted to go ice fishing.
Yeah,
Just give
That's
me them
right.
fishing. Like I just want them
whole
to
episode.
go fishing. I'm fine with that. And they could spend that time talking about the lies. And like I personally feel that Pike and Mbenga have the kind of relationship where he trusts, like, even if I know that he's lying to me, I know he has a good reason and I know that he's not doing it to hurt me. So like play with that. Like make it
Yeah.
seem like he did it for a bad reason and then Pike can confront him about that. Like I'm all for more fishing Mbenga and I'm all for good time Captain Pike. Let him do more dad things.
Yeah, more dad things.
Mhm.
They should name the episode Gone Fishing, and then they should park the Enterprise like in a random nebula and put a Gone Fishing sign on the Enterprise,
Yes.
and then just fishing the whole episode.
And then Una can be captain for that whole episode.
Yes,
Because
see?
they're
And
Pike's not there.
way to connect those two mailbags. That's how
There
we
we
do
go.
it. I love
Yeah.
it. Sweet.
Just connecting mailbags. Sorry,
Stop it, Cameron.
sorry.
Connecting
So
mailbags on the
sorry.
Sausage Fest. No apologies. No apologies. We have a Strange New Paladin mailbag next up, which is actually has some Open Pike mixed and sprinkled into it.
Oh.
Hawk, why don't you take this one as well?
Sure. From SMP mailbag from engineer Mark. For once, I always have the one that has been confirmed already, Mortegas. The trailer gives so much already, just so looking forward to it finally. Well, indeed, what I want is more Ortegas. At least one show about Pelia. Matt Harker also echoed more Mortegas. Michelle P echoed both. Hashtag Mortegas and more Pelia, especially with Scotty on board now. This could open up some great storylines. Yeah, I gotta agree with that. Scotty getting to know the Enterprise through Pelia.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty
Through
getting
his
to
old
fall
teacher.
in love with the Enterprise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If we could have a romantic comedy between Scotty and the Enterprise,
Oh yes. Where he's like
I
playing
am
with the
there.
computer voice and
right?
and
Because that was
like
the
a
part
her.
that
So-
worked about Thor: Love and Thunder was the romance between Thor and the Hammer.
But you
like
want
that was
the
the part
only
that
good
worked.
thing about that movie.
You
Yeah.
want Galaxy's Child again, is what you're saying. But you want it to be more romantic this time.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And-
or just
and-
more graphic. Or
Less
what?
creepy.
Yeah.
It's Cameron. He wants it to be more graphic.
Yeah.
I always want it more
But-
graphic, whether it's zombies or romance.
You know, I love that these are tied together because I really feel, and we have a little bit of evidence that Ortegas can absolutely hold her liquor. And we know that Scotty can drink everyone on this ship under the table. Put them in a bar together on that beautiful set,
Ugh.
have them taking shots, have them hanging out all night, getting into deep
Mhm.
talks. Like, I'm absolutely here for more like low stakes hangout episodes with the crew. I understand that it's a little harder to do that when you have 10 episodes a season rather than 26, but it's a wish list. I don't care. It's what it's what I wish for.
Yeah, this is pure fantasy. We can just like whatever we want, whatever we don't want. It's all on the table.
Yeah.
I feel
And-
you're right though. Like the pilot and the engineer have an innate connection. They should be like simpatico, I think, and I would love scenes between those two
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
You got to imagine, right? Somewhere in season 3 or season 4, those two are at a bar together drinking. We already saw Kirk and Scotty at the
Right.
bar. So
Mhm.
Right.
Okay, so I have a really sad, like huge downer question for you guys.
No, Jesse, no,
Do we think
no.
Pelia is in this whole season?
Ah,
We've talked about this.
I do.
I think she
Yeah.
makes it to the last
I
episode.
do.
And
I do
then
think she's
something
in the
might
whole
happen to
season.
her.
I get the impression she's in the whole season. I don't know if it goes beyond that.
Right.
You know, Carol Kane and her, whatever schedule she's got, or but
I don't think they're going
I-
to kill her off, though. They have
No.
established what a survivor she is.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
see
don't-
her like going off to join a hippie commune and some
Exactly.
planet or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
she just locks herself in her bunker.
Yeah. I could see her leaving the show. I don't think they're dumb enough to kill her off.
No.
Like
Not after Hemmer.
Yeah.
that would
yeah.
be outrage. And for me, the saving grace for Hemmer is that we know Bruce Horak really loved his death scene and was very excited to get to be the guy that Spock rips off, as he put it, because he does the glass and the
Mhm.
live long and prosper. So like that for me makes it work, but I completely understand where folks are coming from with the loss of Hemmer, but also singing Klingon Bruce Horak doesn't exist if Hemmer is still on the show.
It's very
So, like,
true.
Yeah.
everybody, just think about it a little bit. I do want Hemmer back. We also would like Hemmer's brother Hammer back, and he's exactly the same character but an action hero.
Can we
Not a
just also get
pacifist.
more Klingon opera, like more
Yeah.
Klingon rap or K-pop? The reason I think that she's in the whole season, they've been bringing Carol Kane to like every convention and like putting her on all the publicity. Like, I think they like having her on the show a lot. Like, she adds star power. Not that this isn't an all-star cast, but like
Right.
she
Right.
adds so much star power to the show. Like, she's fantastic.
She does. And we
she
know
melds
that
with them
they're
so well.
Yeah.
yeah. And we
It's
know that
hard
they're not
for-
above like adding more parts once they like an actor. Like that's what happened with Patel. She's
Mhm.
not supposed to be in any more than the first episode. And they're like, actually, she's really good. Let's keep her.
Yeah.
And then they kept putting her in more stuff. So I could absolutely see a similar thing with Carol Kane.
And it's hard for like old school Trekkies who are like, oh, nothing about New Trek is good. It's like, well, Carol Kane's in New Trek.
Mhm.
Sure you don't want to watch it? Remember how cool Carol Kane is? How cool she's always been? So
Liar.
yeah, exactly.
You've seen License to Drive, right? That's our touch point for Carol Kane. That's
Exactly,
everyone's
yeah.
touch point.
Taxi.
Ah, of course.
Mine is Scrooge.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's so
Scrooge.
good in Scrooged.
Oh, so
Yep.
good.
Hawk, let's keep going with you, my friend. Do you have a don't want?
Well, actually, this kind of leads nicely into my don't want.
Ooh.
I don't want some character death brought in around episode 9, like we had with Bruce Horak and Hemmer. And it's a real possibility in that, because like we know like a lot of the characters on here already have that established plot armor
Mhm.
that's going to keep them going in that, but there are a few that don't. Pelia is one, no plot armor. Jenna Mitchell could be one, no plot armor
Mhm.
there.
They kill her. I'm done.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
hate to say it, like
Not even kidding. I love Jenna Mitchell. I love Wrong Fu so much.
Yeah.
100%.
Even Ortega's could be on the table in that as far
Ortegas?
as that.
Yep.
We don't know. I just think I think it's cheap. I
La'an.
mean, like
Yeah, La'an.
yeah, we don't know. I don't want to see it this season. I find it's so unnecessary sometimes in series. They think it's going to have more of an emotional impact than it does, and mostly it just angers us. 'Cause,
Mhm.
we lose out on great characters.
That's a big part of why we tend to believe that Battelle will live,
Mm.
because they have shown us so many things that like should spell her end, right? But they have also already done that. We've already lost a main cast member to a Gorn, and in basically the same way.
The exact same way, yeah.
So it's like they showed so many things that are like, we're gonna kill her, we're gonna kill her. It's like, but maybe they're not this time. It feels like they're trying to reverse
Yeah.
rug sweep us, like throw a rug over our heads. I don't know how the metaphor works, but
Both
it
of those were
seems-
excellent.
Yes.
it seems like they're going to keep her. I could absolutely see it be heartbreaking anyway, though, right? Like,
Right.
oh yeah, she survived, but she needs like a year of rehab, or like she absolutely wants out of the line of
She
duty.
goes in
or,
a
or an
chair. They
admiral
invent the
tells
chair for her.
her. That's so mean, John.
Oh my god. Yes. So
kidding me?
Well, that means
The
when
beep-beep
Pike goes
chair.
in the chair, maybe they name the chair after her, and then he lives eternity inside Battelle.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
You always got to make it dirty.
It's not.
I liked it.
Oh, I see. Where
Yeah,
you're going with that. Jeez, your dirty mind, Jesse.
Yeah.
I lay traps.
Let me ask you guys two questions on Hawk's subject here. One,
Mm-hmm.
because of the fan outcry of Hemmer, do you think that the whole cast has been given plot armor because it was so vocal? Do you think that any more of these characters will ever die while the show is on?
The writers and producers have felt aggressively not keen to give in to fan demands, I feel like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think that particular reasoning is one to hold on to for hope.
I agree because, and as much as it pains me to say it, I think that's the correct attitude to have if you're a TV writer. Like, write the story that is the best story that you can write. It's not, one of these police procedural shows where there are going to be 30 seasons of it and characters are going to come and go all the time. Like, you have a limited number of episodes. Arguably you have a limited number of seasons, right? Like we can't expect this to go 10 years. We all want that and we hope desperately for it, but we cannot expect it at this point. So like in that writer's room, if you're going through the story beats and it comes up like, you know what would be great here is if La'an sacrifices herself because she feels the weight of the sacrifices that were made for her to survive. Like, if you make that organically happen, do it. Like, I am going to be upset. But another thing about that is, like, it's good if you get upset when a character dies, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a good story. You want to be attached to these people and then sometimes lose them because that's one of the most realistic things they can do in a sci-fi show that is, set in basically a fantastical setting, because there's only so many ways to tie it into reality. And one of those ways is loss. And I think that if it comes up in the room organically and it's well done, I think it's the right way to go. I think worrying too much about what the fans think is how you get Rise of Skywalker.
Well said.
Very
Well
good.
said.
I
Yeah.
think as Star Trek fans, we just feel it more because I think important character deaths have always come at, not,
Mhm.
it's hard to explain, but not out of, the sake of like, emotional writing and that, but
Mhm.
usually some behind the scenes garbage in that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like Tasha
Yeah.
Yar,
Mhm.
Jadzia Dax,
Yep.
so, we're sensitive on the subject and that because we love these characters and that, and is if they're on their way out and that, usually it's some bullshit.
But I mean, that's the other thing. Sometimes actors get busy. Sometimes actors move on, and then you kind of have to find a way to write them out. And maybe you save your deaths for those time. I mean, maybe an actor gets a singing career and isn't interested in acting anymore. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing, but I mean,
Well,
what
I
you did there.
also
these
I
are
also
all
think
great
that-
actors who are now being discovered by the world and other showrunners.
True.
Yes, but I also think actors are more likely to be like contractually tied to a property now, right? Like, sure, back in the day, you could get 15 jobs in a year, and now it's like you are not allowed to get another job while you're filming this show.
Yeah.
So I'm of both minds. Like, obviously, I don't want to lose anybody, but Hawk is right that some of these characters, we know what the stakes are for them, and they can't be raised past a certain point, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell the writer's room don't kill anybody because how many tools do they have?
Yeah, exactly.
But
Or-
I don't want anyone to die.
Yeah. Or just kill Spock in episode 8, and in episode 9 he's back. Like
Yeah.
nobody is phased. They're like, Yeah, it sounds about right. On the
That
ship.
checks out.
And then episode 9, he's back and just it's like, hey, glad you're back. And,
Oh, did he
Yeah.
put his chakra into someone and they took him to the
Exactly.
temple? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool,
Oh,
cool,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's the thing you can do. Did you know
yeah,
that?
yeah.
They can do
Pike
that.
is just to be like, all right, set course for Vulcan. Let's go get Spock.
Well, and like,
As he's like
Let's go
floating
ring
outside
ring
the window.
gongs. Yeah.
and impressively, this show has already killed James T. Kirk, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
So, like-
already kind of killed Spock too. And
Oh yeah, in the finale season
yeah.
1. Yeah.
there are ways around it, and
Yeah.
I really do like. I've never been accused of it, but sometimes I feel like too much of a fanboy for this show. But it really does come from talking to the people that make it. I know that they love it,
Yeah.
and I can feel in my heart that they're good at what they do, and that's why they have the jobs they have. So it's not a blind trust, but it is very, very close to a blind trust that I have for the people that make this show.
Well, right. I mean, listen, like that's kind of the reason both of our podcasts are here, right? Like we started for
Right.
Stranger Worlds, you guys started for Stranger Worlds, like why we're
Yep.
here. Of course we're going to be fanboys for the show. I'm not guilty, like I don't feel bad saying that.
Right.
I like what you said a lot, Jesse, about contracts too, and like people becoming unavailable, but also being locked down. We just ran into this with Andor, and it became a very big deal. I don't know if you guys watch Andor as well, if
Mhm.
you're into Star Wars, but Jimmy Smits wasn't available to come back as Bail Organa because he is contractually locked down for the new Dexter show. So they had to recast him. Like things like this happen. So that's a really good point. And also, if we're going to Andor as well, that show wouldn't be the show it is if there weren't sacrifices and characters that you like who die,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
take Andor, and then even take a step further and go to Rogue One. Like imagine if everybody walked out of Rogue One.
Yeah.
That movie sucks if they all live, right?
Yeah.
It's like part of the greatness of that movie is that everybody fucking dies. You
Yeah.
know, like character death is okay. I never had any issue with Hemmer dying. It sucked, but it was a cool moment.
I'm on that same page. Yeah.
Yeah.
The second question is, I feel like Paramount is trying to like confuse us about Patel. I'm also of your guys' opinion that she will survive the season, but she was given her own character poster. What do you guys think about that? Is that like a
Mhm.
reversal on the reversal? Is she just going to be like, another lead in the show now? What do you think?
Yeah, we noticed that. I don't know what to make of it. I'm not even going to try to guess. I think it means she's going to show up in more episodes. than she
Yeah.
has
Which
previously.
would give us 3 captains,
Yeah.
3 regularly appearing captains
Yeah.
on one Star Trek show. So
I think-
that's going to be interesting.
Well, and we talked about star power briefly before. Like, Melanie Scrofano is a freaking star. Like,
Yeah.
her Winona Earp show is incredibly popular. And I feel like if you get somebody like that with that kind of talent, who has that kind of chemistry with your lead, it's like, why would you throw this away? And if she's not in every episode, I'm fine with that. Just, maybe she's off teaching Kirk how to be a better captain. Like, there's a lot of stuff she could do without being in every episode, and she could still matter a lot. But I do, part of me wonders, like, is it just a marketing thing? They're like, that Melanie Scrofano's so hot right now, give her a poster, like, which I could see, because, I mean, let's be completely real here, gentlemen. Like, we cannot rely on Paramount to do what makes sense from a marketing or business perspective.
Or streaming
everybody-
platform. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks can agree with that. So it's like
Mhm.
reading the tea leaves with that is so difficult. It's so difficult.
Some intern could have made that poster, like just put the people that are on this list, and they put Melanie Scrofano.
She just snuck
She
in.
looks good in that light.
And they're like, hey, these pictures look great. Okay, that make posters for each of them. And I was like, do you even watch Star Trek? No, man. All right.
Plus,
It's
they might need to pocket Patel's character in that for later on when we get closer to that event, right?
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
She
Yeah.
might. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's got to find out at some point. right?
Yeah, I think so, right? Yeah. I think also she could get promoted to Commodore after getting like impregnated with Gorn, right? It's like, oh,
Yes.
you almost died by Gorn? Yeah, you get Commodore now because she was passed over. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
It's funny what you said about how popular she is at Vegas this year. She was at Vegas this year, and an entire fan group from Winona Earp, not to come to the convention for Star Trek, just came to see her because of Winona Earp.
Yeah.
So yeah. Where are we? Because I totally took us off track
We
with two
are
random questions
on
because I like
the
to do that.
We're on Melanie's don't want.
Yeah, let's do it. Who wants to take that?
I'll take that one. Melanie says we heard her wants about Pike being shirtless. She does not want for season 3 too much James Kirk. It's Pike's Enterprise, not Kirk's yet. I like Kirk. I just prefer Pike as captain, and it's his time now. So less Kirk, please. One episode with him should be enough. Well, Melanie, I think we did the math, and it looks like he's in at least 3 based on the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is a sentiment that I understand. Like, I think I might even agree with the sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of those things where I'm like, the business reality of this is you have James T. Kirk in a Star Trek show. It's going to be difficult to tell the people making that show don't put more James T. Kirk in it. Like, especially because we know Kiva Goldsman is a huge TOS fan. Like, he is gearing so hard for just a complete TOS reboot at some point, right? So, like, I don't know. Like, I have no problem with the James Kirk actor, Paul Wesley. I know a lot of people think he looks too much like Jim Carrey. I think that's unfair because the dude doesn't control how he looks. Like, I think he absolutely gets the essence of Kirk across. And I get wanting more of the other characters, and I agree with that completely. I'm just keeping my expectations low for that because it's like they put Kirk in the show for a reason, and they're gonna keep going back to that well. Is that personally how I would make the show? No. But is it probably something we can expect to continue? Yeah. Like, there's been 20 episodes, and he's been in what, like 6 or 7?
Four.
Yeah, so that's like a pretty sizable percentage of all the episodes have had some Kirk in it for a show that's not about him.
Yeah.
Well, he's in at least as many as he was last season. I mean, he increased 300% from season 1 to season 2,
Right.
and so he's in as many this season. I mean, I've been on record with them. I don't love having Kirk in the show. Season 2 made me appreciate Paul Wesley and the character he's creating, and this character is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree he's capturing Kirk's essence. I don't think the writing or the performance is capturing Kirk's essence. I can't take credit for this. I was listening to the next conversation, and they were discussing generations, and they just made the point that William Shatner plays Kirk so uniquely, and I'd never heard that before, but I think it's right. As easy as it is to impersonate Shatner and Kirk, it's really hard to capture that essence. Shatner just does something special with it that is, to their point, unique. But I will say, Jesse, you said something during the last conversation that got my wheels spinning. And if Kirk steals Battelle away from Pike in this season, I am 100% here for it. That is a plot line I would watch the hell out of.
And the only pushback I'll give you there, Cameron, is that Chris Pine played Kirk amazingly, and on basically
he is Chris Pine
on all the same notes that Shatner does. He did all the Shatner like swagger and everything without doing an impression of Shatner. The key for me here is that Wesley isn't trying to play, 4 seasons into the mission Captain Kirk. He's playing young Captain Kirk. He's basically fresh out of the academy, and I know that this is just a thing we disagree about, so I'm completely
We've
fine
had this
with
conversation many times, yes.
Yeah, but like
but now the Strange New Pod listeners can hear it.
Well, and I'm all for giving him the space to get to a spot where people either accept this is the same character or go, okay, I totally see the shades that I've been looking for, because I know he's capable of it. I think he's a very good actor. The way that he looks is very different from how Shatner and Pine look. I can't dispute that. He looks different. I've seen a lot of people say, why is he not even a little bit pudgy? And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. They picked him for a reason, right? Like, whatever their reasons are, I don't know them, but they had reasons.
Maybe they're having him spend more time on Pike's Enterprise so he can keep eating Pike's food, and by like season 5,
he's a great chef.
The Shatner physique.
That's why he makes like the Enterprise bare minimum, right, and gets rid of like the fancy captain's quarters, because
that's right.
Yeah, Pike put too much meat on those bones.
This kitchen did this to me.
It needs to go. I have to say, I'm going to get in on your argument because
Please.
I love this argument. I'm going to kind of do a sidestep here. I'm going to read Matt Harker's mailbag for the next one because it belongs up here with this one. He wrote, less Jim Kirk, right? Like, I'm warming to Paul Wesley as Kirk, but it hasn't worked as well for me, and I don't need much of him in season 3. So a lot of our collective also share this sentiment. And I am like the lone, give me more Kirk. I want more Kirk. I think that he was great in the season 1 finale. I think he really found his footing in the episode with Uhura, Lost in Translation. I thought that was fantastic. And I just think he's really good. You know, I want more bands with him and Sam. You know, I like that we're getting there. And yeah, if Akiva's going for a TOS reboot, this is what we're going to get. Yeah, it's Pike's Enterprise, and part of the reason I love the show so much is Anson Mount and Captain Pike. But it's fun having him on the show. Like, we're slowly getting this crew. I feel like it's the point to tell Pike's story, but also give us that transition that we never really saw. So I'm here. I'm going to add an argument to the Chris Pine argument. I don't think he hit his stride until Beyond. And I thought he did really well as Kirk, like really embodied Kirk in Beyond.
I think
sorry.
apple chewing, like sideways squinting,
I was just
original
gonna say.
09 Kirk. I think he nailed it immediately. And the problem is that whole cast, I think, nailed it immediately. It was like,
fair.
how are you going to recast these people? And then they did it. And I was like, oh my God, you struck gold on every single one of these actors. That is amazing. And it's a huge part of the reason they can't get them all back together now is because everybody who watched those movies were like, oh, these are great actors. Let's get them and put them in our stuff. Right.
They're literally
now,
all megastars.
yeah. And now they all cost so much. Freaking Zoe Saldana has been in like 5 or 6 billion-dollar grossing movies in a row.
And now she also has an Oscar.
Yeah. It's insane. But I think for me, to your point though, Julian, for me, the episode I was able to point to and say like, see, he gets it was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Fantastic episode.
Because you get Kirk being like snarky and funny, but also very smart and like willing to make personal sacrifices. And I feel like those are all of the qualities that Kirk has. It just, he doesn't have the same hair color and the same shape of face. Like I'm not angry at anybody who doesn't like this Jim Kirk. It's just that for me personally, he works. And I will agree though, that like, I don't think we need a ton of him. Like 3 episodes might be my max because Sam Kirk, I want more Sam Kirk.
Yes.
100%.
Like there's a
Preach.
character, that's a character, we know the end of that character. Make us really feel that, right? Like introduce us to his family, show us all the stuff that he cares about, and then just tell people, oh, go watch TOS, and they'll be like, curse you, TOS.
I'm shocked they haven't shown his family on the show.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't know what they had when they were filming season 2 because they started filming before they released season 1. So it might be this season. I think we're going to see a lot of family.
I think we're going to see a ton of family in this season. Yeah.
I was just thinking the other day, you know, we on our show we talk a lot about like Pike. Is he going to avoid his fate? How does he avoid his fate? Are we going to be able to get him past that somehow? Yada yada yada. Why don't we ever talk about that with Sam Kirk? He is the one. Like Pike gets to go live his mental holodeck fantasy world. Sam Kirk has a meaningless death. Him and his whole family. Does his son live? I forget.
But his son, I think, does live.
Yeah, Kirk's nephew lives. But let's find a way to retcon that. Let's focus on Sam.
No more
please.
death
His
by
fate.
flying pancake.
I'm not even on retcon his death. I'm just like, let's put some more in here so we really feel that death, turn it into a meaningful death. That's the point,
just all
though.
kinds of pathos. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
I've always known I wouldn't die except by flying pancake.
I think the big difference there is that a death has not been written for Pike. You know, Pike's death scene isn't 50 years old at this point. Sam Kirk's end is written. So I feel like they could really wring that emotional cloth with us, and it would absolutely work. And you know, there will be people that are like, oh, Operation Annihilate's not canon. Just like they do with the last episode of Enterprise. They're like, that's not canon. I don't care. Like,
People say Operation Annihilate isn't canon.
No, I'm
So they
saying
will.
we
Oh.
could get
They'll
people
start
to
to,
that
yeah.
point.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
We'll
Yeah,
start
yeah,
a
yeah.
PR campaign. That's
This,
right.
this is
yeah.
not my real one, but now I want a breakfast scene with the whole crew where Pike is cooking pancakes and like tosses one to Sam. He's like, "Whoa, pancake almost killed me, man."
Yeah.
He starts to eat it. You know?
Close call.
Yeah.
We need to get you in the writer's room, John. That's all there
I
is
agree.
to it.
I totally agree. Let's keep going with these mailbags. We have one from our show. I'll continue with what Matt Harker wrote. We're gonna hear about this a lot tonight, but this is the first one. Oh, we lost.
No, he's fine. He's good.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah.
Um,
Just turns the video off.
cool. We are gonna hear a lot of less Spock and Chapel. So, that's a big one. We already talked about Jim Kirk a lot. More Sam Kirk. We just talked about that. So yes, more Sam. A big one here: less body / mind / genetic swapping and more hijinks. It's like
Matt
wants
didn't
and don't
watch
want
the
to.
trailer.
Matt didn't watch the trailer. I mean, I think he did, and yeah, I mean, we're getting it. It looks horrible, but we're getting it.
Mm.
I don't know. What do you guys think about these like no Spock, no Chapel, no genetic, less body swapping stuff?
Well, with that, I imagine people are referring specifically to the Vulcan hijinks, which we have gotten every season.
Yes.
And I think much like just accepting that Jim Kirk is going to be on this show at least 30% of the time, you have to accept that these writers are going to give us one Vulcan comedy episode once per season.
Once per
It's
season,
going to happen. They love them, which means we're watching them.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, yes, I would like less Spock Chapel. I mean, I've already started trying to drive a major wedge between them, but every Vulcan hijinks episode gives us Amanda too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's great on
that's
screen every
true.
time. And so it's like I would take some of it to keep getting Mia Kirscher back.
I would
Yeah.
also take it to get James Frayne back as Sarek, even though we know their relationship isn't good at this point in history. But like, I would take it.
I would also take it to get to Pring's parents back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
They were
mean,
so good.
Oh, boy.
I don't hate the Spock Chapel relationship, but I don't
I
love
don't
it either.
either.
It's got it's there. I found myself amazed how invested I was in Spock and T'Pring's relationship. Like those two sold that relationship for me, and that's one of my wants for season 3. Is I hope they bring her back and give us more angst, more of the triangle. Like I'm fine if Chapel's in there if it's making that triangle, but those two, I think they've got something.
I do wonder, with season 3, will there be some dynamic shifts? Like, okay, we're not going to do too much more of a Spock and Chapel's relationship because A, we know it ends. B, they literally broke up on screen last season. Like, C, we're bringing in Chapel's future fiance. So,
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
there's going to be a rift there. And that's maybe another reason they keep Battelle. They're like, well, we need relationship drama that we can mine.
We do.
So like, let's
Yeah.
do that, and I'm all ears for like the argument against like, the genetics of a Vulcan doesn't mean they act how these Vulcans act. I'm fully understand and agree with that argument. But I am personally going to wait to see the episode because to me, it's like they probably use Spock's DNA for that, and they're using it as a way to comment on the way that he views himself, right? Like he's always saying, well, a Vulcan would do this and a Vulcan would do that, and I should be more Vulcan. It's kind of like Worf, where he's like, here's how Klingons are, and then you meet other Klingons and they're like, no, man, we laugh and drink and have fun. It's like being a Klingon is not all about exclusively honor. It's about having an entire life and that you try to live it honorably. So I'm going to wait to see the episode before I decide on that. And like purely for the visual joke of making Anson Mount's hair even
my
taller.
God.
Yeah.
I know.
Like it's enough for me. Like I'll give the episode a shot.
We
I'm not gonna
finally
sit
got
here-
full Johnny Bravo with that.
Yeah.
Yep. We did.
I'm not going to sit here and say that
Mhm.
episode cannot be good, right? Because I haven't seen enough of it, but I fully understand and agree with the argument that like genetics don't make you act a way, and that's possibly a failing on the writing side of this because Star Trek has been guilty of that kind of a thing for a long time. So I do wonder, are they using this to indict that idea, or are they just going pure trope with it? So I'm going to wait to find out, but I'm willing to end up on either side of that argument personally.
Yeah,
Now I
I
just
feel
want a
this-
double date between Spock and Praying and Chapel and her fiance. I want that in an episode.
Hog, what
Roger
were you gonna say?
Corby. I say, yeah, I agree regarding the genetics and that. It's like, last time we reviewed season 2 and that, like those episode charade and led to probably one of the biggest riffs we had within the pod and that. And it's like seeing that we're going to go through that again with this episode. And I don't know that they're taking it with like, like having a wink or a nod at it and that, I think they honestly believe that somehow the Vulcan philosophy is written into their DNA instead of a practice and a philosophy that's taught to Vulcan kids.
Just because Star Trek's done that so much.
Yeah,
They have.
Yeah.
yeah. So that I'm not looking forward to.
Also, it could just be the showrunners trolling people. Like,
Right.
I would not
Yeah.
put that past the showrunners of like, hey, we like, they have shown that they're willing to not, trash canon or long-standing things, but they're willing to play with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not thrilled with seeing that first clip. I didn't like it, and I'm like, I forget honestly who among us liked charades and what was the name of the second one, or was it the other way around? Spock and Mock and charades.
Charades, yep.
I personally enjoy both those episodes a lot, but like I don't think we need one every season.
Mhm.
And this was just, again, like it's hard because I do agree with Jesse, and I said it when we talked about the clip. I hate it on paper and I hate having watched it, but I do want to give it a chance. I want them to be able to be like, no, this is the message we're sending, that like this is a story about Spock and how he feels. And maybe like it's an opportunity for Spock to say, this is not it. And you treating me like shit when you were like Vulcans isn't cool. Like I hope that's what we get, but I don't have a lot of hope, but we'll see.
Well, we also see in that clip, we see the resolution of the reason they do that, right? Because they're going to go run this mission or whatever. And in like the 2-minute clip, we see that mission completed and finished.
Yeah.
So it's like that whole entire section could be 4 minutes of that episode.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It could be part of a vignette episode, and it's like, that's it. That's
True.
that story.
Right.
True.
Onto,
Absolutely.
Well,
a
and
clip show of clips we've never seen before.
But they end it by saying they can't turn them back, right?
They do.
Yeah.
They
It's
do.
implying it's part of a
Yeah.
longer story of them being trapped as Vulcans.
it's
Right,
definitely episode 5.
but my point
I
is
mean,
they're going to be
yeah.
exploring
It's
that.
definitely
It's not.
episode 5.
Yeah, it's so. And the other thing is that there is a shot in the teaser trailer that is absolutely a dream sequence, in my opinion. There's no way
with
it's
Spock
not.
and Chapel in bed.
Spock and Chapel in
Yeah.
bed has to be a dream sequence.
100%.
So there's going to be a lot of Spock psychology stuff going on in this season, and I'm like I said, I have no reason to believe they're going to do it the right way, and I'm not ready to say they're definitely doing it the wrong way. I will watch
that's
the
a
episode
nightmare.
and then I'll go from there.
If that whole sequence is a nightmare, that'll even settle my qualm of like, why do their clothes or their hair and makeup change when they take the DNA?
Right.
That's my big thing.
Right. Oh.
So if it's a nightmare, I'm down with it. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's great.
We've had a lot of don't wants from the host so far. So because of so many don't wants in this mailbag, John, we get a want from you. We're switching it up.
All right. Well, I want not like anything dramatic, because obviously we know it can't be a total wipeout. I want the Gorn as the primary enemy to wrap up in this season, either with a detente, a neutral zone, some kind of like on to the next thing. Not really for any like not for canon reasons, for TOS or anything like that. It's just like we can't make them much scarier or more dangerous while also keeping them so very alien. Like it's one of those things, like the more we see them, the less of a threat they're going to be.
Yeah.
And
Like the Borg.
Like the Borg,
I
exactly.
agree with
Like
that.
it happened, and I hope they don't fall into that same trap. So it's like, 3 seasons wrap, and it hasn't, like, not like they were around a ton in season 2, but just wrap them up, draw the line, say the Gorn are over here, we're over there. That's it for the Gorn and us on the Enterprise, at least. That's just what I would like.
I like that.
I agree.
Mhm. No,
And
it
I-
works too because, like, they are kind of landlocked behind the TOS episode involving. The
Yeah,
Gorn,
like we
but-
can't have that much of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're
Yeah.
gonna get a Discovery season 2 style. No one is ever to speak of this. You cannot put it in your logs.
Under penalty of
Like
death.
we're gonna hypnotize all of you to forget everything that's occurred.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
how we get
Remember
Ash
who?
Tyler back.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no!
Oh, my-
Boycotting this season.
That would be hilarious.
But
The only way to get Jesse to quit Strange New Worlds.
the thing I agree with, John, is I think they've done. So I'm in the camp of people that are like, yeah, I'm fine with this. Like, I like having a scary, not fully understood antagonist happening. I get where people are coming from, where they're like, this isn't what Star Trek is. You're supposed to be able to understand your enemy. You're supposed to work for greater empathy, greater understanding, that kind of thing. And Pike even voices those opinions in season 2. Like, he second guesses, like, hey, maybe instead of just shooting all the time, we should try and communicate with them. We should learn what it is that they're so mad about. And it's like, well, it's mostly a territorial thing. But I think that when Akiva and Henry Alonso Myers talk about the Gorn, they lean into like, hey, sometimes there are just monsters in real life. And I think that that's a valid point, right? Like, it doesn't mean that we should think of the other as less than human or as not worth understanding, right? What it means is that there are some people that you understand and they're still monsters. And that's a real life thing. And, knowing now some of the stuff that we know about Akiva Goldsman's childhood, it makes a lot of sense to me that he would go, I want a monster in my show because monsters are scary and it's a thing you really have to deal with. That having been said, I agree with you, John. Like, we don't need another season-long Gorn in the background thing going on. I personally don't think we need season-long anything in this
Yeah.
show. Like, go more episodic. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
skip missions and then tell me about it in a log. I'm fine with that.
Right.
But I do think that, again, having 10 episodes and knowing that they're going for like this semi-serialization of the show, which is, arguably what TNG was doing. Like, the character moments are serialized, but the episode stories themselves are not, for the
Yeah.
most part. I could see them shutting down the Gorn thing in the beginning and then going full throttle into like fun, new, different things.
Right. Yeah. Once
I don't
Patel
know-
gets all Sarah Kerrigan and like takes leadership of the Gorn and leads them off into some, some other
Yeah.
side of the galaxy, it'll be great. Yeah.
But I also don't know that I need to replace the Gorn with like another threat, right?
Right.
Like,
No, yeah.
maybe just have a fun season.
Yeah, it's
And,
not Star Wars. We don't need to have
Yeah.
like a big bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do a big bad, make it Cybok and make it 90% hijinks based. Like, he's always messing with the whole crew, and you never see him on screen ever.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned Cybok, Jesse, because that's a great segue. That's my want for this season.
Hey.
Yeah.
I want Cybok. They teased us. It's been like a season and a half. It's fucking time, guys. Like,
Mhm.
we
Yeah.
need to see Cybok.
Absolutely.
I don't know how else to say it other than like, let's go. Cybok to bring. God, another great way to bring back James Frain, I feel too. Like, I'm just waiting for the moment that James Frain shows back up as Sarek because I want that. That kind of ties into my Cybok want. Like, I want those two on this series.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think the beautiful thing that they did with the Cybok tease is that if they never give us any more Cybok, it works. Like, it fits into the canon as
It's
already
true.
established.
Yeah.
And that's okay, but I'm in the same boat. I want Cybok. Are you in the Matt Berry as Cybok camp?
100,000%. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Give me your pain. Bat.
New York City.
City.
Then Ash Tyler pops up. Cybok. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
Ash
man.
Tyler, I can hear you.
Cybok bows to no man.
I would actually go even further and say I'd love a scene of Cybok talking about Kirk and Pike going, you and he were buddies, weren't you?
Oh man.
I don't know enough Matt Berry references, but I do love. There's something about the natural born killer style, right? Bonnie and Clyde romance of Angel and Cybok that I
Yes,
love.
good
Like,
way to bring her back.
I
too.
love
Yeah.
Or
romantic
Yeah.
villains. That it's a trope I love. Bring it on. I'm here for it.
And like, here's the one thing I'll say that's probably even a little bit controversial because I'm not that guy, but I think Angel and Cybok, despite not being on the screen together at the same time, might have been more compelling to me than Locke and Maul. Like, I love Locke and Maul, but by the end of that season, it was like,
Well,
oh,
they did
didn't-
Locke so dirty.
Oh yeah.
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 He didn't have any effect on what happens at the end
Yeah.
of the season, and arguably Maul didn't either. Like,
Mhm.
she was there physically, but did she need to be for a story reason? You know what
Right.
I mean? Like, again, I love both actors. I love both characters. I had a lot of fun watching it, but at the end, I was like, oh, I don't know that I was happy with this. Like,
They were
Mhm.
Indiana Jones and Raiders, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Hawk, could you go on with a mailbag from us, please? It's a Jedi Cat. I think we have Jedi Cat, and it kind of expands with one
Yes,
from
and
Open
Katie.
Pike as well. Yeah.
Alrighty, so Katie or Jedi Cat wrote, as much as I love Spock, I'd be okay with less of him. I'd also be okay with less of Kirk, although I'm loving Paul Wesley in the role. Katie expanded on that same idea, saying, I want less Spock and more of everyone else. Nothing against Spock, I love him, but he's been the face of Star Trek for the last 60 years. We know just about everything there is to know about him, and we have wonderful characters that haven't even gotten an episode yet on their own. And now that we're bringing in even more of the original series crew, I'm a little worried more and more of the show is going to focus on them and not our Strange New Worlds group. And that's a valid concern.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. I think, I mean, for us, obviously, it all goes back to Ortegas. Like, you have an amazingly charismatic actor playing an amazingly charismatic, interesting, fun character that we've fallen in love with over arguably like 15 scenes, right? Like,
Yeah.
we want more of this character. Please give it to us. And I feel like that could just, you could say that same thing about every non-original series character in this show. Like, give me an episode that is just Pelia. I'm here for that. Give me an episode that is just Ortegas. You know, give me just Jenna Mitchell. It would be like Data's Day.
I want a
Like,
Jenna Mitchell episode so bad. Yeah.
I will say the one character nobody on here or on the callers have mentioned yet is Uhura, and I would say she's the one outlier of that, where
Yes.
I've enjoyed every bit of new character we've gotten for her. It's like, yeah, she's a canon character, but
TOS never
arguably
gave
we
us
know
anything
more
on
about
her.
her.
Yeah.
Exactly, we know more
Right,
about her
right.
after these first 2 seasons than we do after all of TOS and the movies. So
It's
nice to
interesting
know
that
her.
it's interesting that we now know Nurse Chapel better than we know Uhura. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a complaint from me. It's just an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Uhura was on the bridge in TOS, and Nurse Chapel's like not even in every season of TOS, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, why the disparate balance for the characters? And I gotta assume that it's because of our short episode count. We've got 10 episodes. Which stories do we want to tell? And they accidentally put together way too good of an ensemble. Like,
Mhm.
now you need to serve us all of these characters because we love all of them. Like, I'm completely here for a solo episode for any of the characters in this show. But if we did one every episode, you wouldn't even get through the whole cast in 10 episodes, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to say that it's like for sure, but like, we're totally getting an Ortegas episode this season. We have to.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have to.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah. I know that like Giraffe and MC both love the character of Spock, but they have said multiple times on our show, just in our, in our text chat, like, enough.
Yeah.
There's Spock on like almost every single Star Trek series. Like, it's not Miss Enterprise, luckily, but like TOS, both original pilot and the show, and the animated series in TNG, and I don't think he was on DS9 or Voyager, but like then he's on Discovery, which is cool, and now he's in this, and it's like there's so many Spock. It's like,
Yeah.
we got
the
it.
Kelvin universe. I
Yeah,
mean,
thank you, the Kelvin.
yeah.
It's like we got it. We got it, dude. The unification short, like they brought
Yeah.
Nimoy back from the dead. Like enough. I get
Well,
it.
I love the idea, and I know the ship's kind of sailed on this because we've already talked about how important he is in Strange New Worlds, and I mean he saved the universe in Discovery before he even got here to this point. But I do love the idea of just having like a Lieutenant Spock off in the corner, and it's like, oh, who's that? Spock. Spock's his name. He's just some Vulcan,
Right.
He's like every other Vulcan. He's just a guy on the ship. Not a big deal. Like I like the idea. Like let's start him there. Let him
Yeah.
grow into the universe-saving Spock we love and know. He doesn't have to start there.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do that from the very beginning.
I don't know. He's an overachiever, man.
He is.
It
But,
runs
yeah,
in
no,
his
I agree.
family.
It does. It does.
Like I like having him around, but yeah, just make him the quippy comic relief. I'm down with that.
And he's good at it. Like
He's
the
good at it.
Yeah.
Ethan Peck plays the comedic timing of everything very well. I mean, they just put him in a freaking SpongeBob crossover commercial. Like,
Imagination.
he knows how to play those moments. Give him more of those moments, you know? Strange New Worlds, I would say on the whole is like more here for the capital F fun than like Discovery is, right?
Right.
Discovery's capital F is feelings, and I
Yeah.
love that about Discovery. But like, let Strange New Worlds maintain its identity as a little looser and more fun show. And I think a great way to do that is, yeah, okay, you've established that Spock is very important, universe level important. Now let him just be a guy. And let's focus on these other people. Like, yeah, even give me more Uhura. Like, I'm absolutely here for that. We have, like I said, it's too good of an ensemble. They accidentally got too many amazing actors for this show, and now it's like we're at some point at the end of this season, at the end of this series, 40 years from now, when they stop making Strange New Worlds, there will still be a character that we'll all point to and go, they didn't get enough screen time. I think
Yeah.
that's a guarantee.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah. So, Cam, let's get a want from you, please.
Well, speaking of Strange New Worlds being the fun Star Trek, I think it does have a certain vibe and tone that I don't think any of the other shows quite has. We've talked about how it's kind of like brought in all the elements of other series and kind of packaged it in this fun, swashbuckling comedy adventure. So I'm trying to think of, I want more pets. I'm going to say, I want pets on this
Ooh,
show.
okay.
This is the show, the Star Trek series
Does
that
Pike
should
need
have
a
pets.
fish?
We've had Livingston, Spot, Porthos. We know Runa's on set. Just throw her in front of the camera every few episodes. Please. For me, it'd be a hoot. It'd be the cat's meow. I'd be barking up the tree for that. I can keep going. Do you want me to keep going?
I can't
No, I'll
believe
stop.
you didn't even mention Ichaya or Ichaya, depending on your pronunciation, Cameron. Come on.
Who's,
Cameron doesn't even know
who's
who
Ichaya?
Ichaya is.
Who's
Yeah.
Ichaya?
It's
I don't know
Spock's
Ichaya.
pet Sailot.
Oh, that's
Canonically.
right. Yeah. Yep.
Are there any pets on DS9? There's got to be some pets on DS9.
No.
They're in
No,
a space
there
mall.
wasn't.
There should be a whole
They
pet
are,
store.
but no.
Boy, I don't
Exotic
think
pet
that ever
store.
comes
Wow,
out
they
on
missed the
DS9.
boat. So don't
did.
pull a
Yeah.
DS9, Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Put your pet in now.
Don't be the best Star Trek series ever. Strange New World.
Does Neelix count as a pet on Voyager?
No, because
No.
pets are lovable.
No,
Yeah.
that's such a good
Ah.
point. Yeah.
And you miss her absence.
Yeah. Wow. Damn. All right. I'm glad we're all on the same page there. I like it. Yeah. More pets.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Runa. Let's put Runa in.
Runa!
Let's
Yeah.
see the
Yeah,
horses
bring
more
Runa back.
often. I think the horses should just be on the ship.
You know, no.
should just, like, go meet them
There
every once in a
is
while.
there's a stable on the Enterprise. Like
Okay.
Tango's down there.
Oh,
Right?
good.
Right?
Then he should go visit him more
He
often.
should.
Just scenes of him feeding apples to Tango
Yeah,
while like
dude needs
debating
hay.
planet-saving strategies.
It's like, what should I do, Tango?
Well, there, Pike. Let me tell you.
Oh man. Let's keep going with you guys. Another mailbag from Katie here. I think it's
All right.
a want this time.
Okay, Katie wrote in and said, I would just love to see friendship moments. The ones we expect and the ones we totally don't. Give me Pike and Pelia, Una and Erica, La'an and Christine, Mbenga and Nyota, I just want to see why being on the ship is so great. You'd spend your entire life here. Looking at you, Spock and Nyota. Michelle P. also had a pairing she wanted. I'd like them to continue with humor that worked so well in season 2. Let's see more of those funny Sam Kirk / Spock interactions. They remind me a little bit of Bones and Spock sparring that I really enjoyed in TOS.
Completely agree.
100% all the
Yeah.
way.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, one of the great things about ensemble series is being able to pair up your actors and characters in different ways and be like, what happens when you put these two together and send them off? We on Discovery season 2, we were talking about, like, it doesn't happen often, but when you get to pair up like Giorgio and Jet Reno and like see them
Right.
interact, like, it's amazing. Let's like find those kind of wacky chemical reactions in this crew.
Yeah. One of my favorite DS9 episodes is a pairing of Garrick and Odo. And initially you're like, those are very similar characters. What are they going to do with this? And then by the end of the episode, you're like, holy God, give me more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you guys read Asylum yet from Una McCormick?
Not yet.
So I don't want to spoil too much, but that book not only establishes that, you know, Una was in one of Pelea's classes, but that Pike was actually really good friends with Una. I mean, with Pelea. I would like to see that as like a friendship pairing, comedic moments, because like it's not put across on the show yet, but that book really, like, they're friends, like they're close. So I want to see that explored in this season or season 4, because I think that could lead to some like serious moments and some just like comedy gold as well.
Well, and Michelle's point about Sam Kirk and Spock, I think, is a really good one, because like we've now seen Jim Kirk and Spock meet each other. Cool. Fun moment. I don't think they overplayed it. I really liked watching that. But I am so excited for the scene where Jim goes to Sam and he's like, "Hey, how do I get through to this guy? Like, how do I get him to stop being like all business all the time?" And Sam Kirk's like, just crumble some crumbs and throw them on the table in front of him. See what happens. Like, I know how to mess with this guy because I've been doing it for 3 or 4 years, right? Like, use the characters that we love and want to see more of to establish the things that we get later. I feel they do that, like with Star Trek Discovery, right? Right before Michael leaves, she says to Spock, find the person that seems the furthest away from you and reach for them. And it's like, she's talking about James Kirk, and we are going to get to see that. And we know it's coming. Please give me more Sam Kirk. I want to see him messing with Spock. I want to see him trying not to piss Spock off so much that he will break him, right? Like, there are great dynamics here to explore. There are dynamics we haven't even seen yet. I would love to see Una giving Scotty shit for not following the rules. Like, she had this argument with Pelea, and Pelea loves Scotty. Like, let's see that. Like, show me all of these characters in the mix. I'm so excited for season 3, you guys.
Are you? I mean, I'm kind of excited. No, I'm fucking stoked. Like, I can't wait.
Lose my shit.
Can't wait.
That trailer, guys. I mean, coming into this, I was like, I don't know. That trailer kind of showed me everything I didn't even know I wanted.
Right,
What am I going to talk about? That's why I got to come up with stuff like Pets, because it's giving me like a zombie episode. It's giving me a Black Mirror episode. It's giving me a 1970s murder mystery that I didn't know I wanted all these
Okay,
things.
can we talk about that real quick? I
Please.
was not expecting when, like, what was it, like a year and a half, 2 years ago at this point, that Jonathan Frakes first said Hollywood murder mystery. And what I took by that was they were going to do a murder mystery on the Enterprise, but no, they're literally going to the 70s and doing like fucking Clue.
Yeah. Maybe literally Clue. I was picking up the colors of their outfits. It might be Clue.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm most excited for that episode this season so far. Yeah,
I'm kind of the tin can, like they got to wire the Enterprise, like obviously like an out of gas style episode. That's one where I'm like, ooh, that could have something there. I'm down for that. And that might be the Ortegas episode too. It looks like she's in a lot of it.
Yeah. We have another mailbag from us from Strangely Pod. It is from Dana, who wrote, "I just want it all." I think we just like echoed that, right? Like we just wanted everything. Give me everything. I think the show is perfect, and I don't really want less of anything. I'm really excited for the murder mystery. I really hope La'an and Jim's relationship get a better ending than last season. But either way, I'm just enjoying having new Star Trek.
Amen.
La'an and Jim. I don't know if anything could really go further with that. Her first Jim love died, and her second is with Carol Marcus, and they're having David, like So I'd like to see it too, but I don't think it's going any further.
If he's in the show,
Yeah,
she's still got feelings for him. I mean, I don't know if they're going further, but they're doing stuff with her feelings with him,
right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It would be
Do you think
great
we're
if
getting
she's
Carol
like,
Marcus this season.
I was gonna say it would be great if Carol Marcus shows up, and then La'an is all in her feelings, and she's like, "All right, I'm gonna go talk to Sam Kirk and see if he's down to flirt." And then he's like, "Oh, I'm actually married and I have kids."
Oh, there it is.
And she's like, "You know what? I'm gonna find a way to sacrifice myself. I don't even care."
Come on, Runa, you and me, girl.
Emerges
are
with the
out.
ship, falls in love with Scotty. Thing,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Start singing at star bases.
Yep.
Yeah. Hawk, why don't we keep going? What do you want from season 3?
My biggest want would be like a Pike Spock focused episode, where we see more of them, like maybe on a mission together or that. I really want a development in that relationship that explains, the menagerie, why Spock would risk the death penalty, his career, and everything, and that just to deliver Pike to Talos 4. And there's I think that season 3 would be prime for one of those stories, and that where you see that kind of the strong solidarity between them, and the something that kind of really pushes that friendship and that relationship forward. Spock and Jim obviously is the most famous couple in Star Trek history, and that, but there's something between Spock and Pike. I want to see that.
It would be interesting with all the Kirk on here. Will there be a moment when we see what Spike back to the original of this podcast?
We've done that too.
I haven't said Spike in so long. Where Spock sees something in Kirk that he doesn't see in Pike. Why is Kirk the major couple, the partner to Spock, and not Pike?
Because he sees that Kirk has a future. Because
Right,
Spock
other
does
than-
know Pike's secret. Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe that's it. Maybe Spock is just always kept an arm's length. Like, I know you're going down, buddy.
Well, and I have issue with the way you phrase that, Cameron, because
Mhm.
Spock is absolutely willing to risk Kirk's life to get Pike to Talos 4, to Hawk's
That's
point.
true.
That's so
That's
true.
Yeah, he loves Kirk. He's a great guy, great to spend time with. They could even be roommates, maybe even more than that. But nobody replaces Pike in Spock's heart. And I
Mm.
agree that I would love to see maybe like a concrete thing for that, because right now what we're seeing is, well, it's because Pike is great and everybody loves him and he's a very
Yeah.
good captain. And,
Mhm.
for me, is that enough? Probably. But I think there should be some huge life events that they experience together
Are we
beyond
not,
what we've already seen.
Are we not factoring in at the end of the season 1 finale where Spock knows that Pike did something very major to save him? I feel like that
Right.
definitely factors into it, right?
Absolutely, it does. I just feel like while we have these two characters in the same space together,
Let's
give
do
me
it.
5 episodes. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
give me so many things.
Agreed.
Because when Pike thinks he's leaving Spock behind in Discovery and he has to say goodbye, he says there aren't words.
Yeah.
So their relationship was already very close knit. So give me some of the results of that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to believe they're already at that level, but what does that look like on a day-to-day Star Trek mission style basis?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I hope so. We have another Open Pike mailbag. Who's going with this one?
I'll read Michelle's. She says, speaking of Bones, she had previously just said how she liked Spock, and Sam Kirk reminded her of Spock and Bones. Yes, I'm going to be that TOS fan that wants to see McCoy in Strange New Worlds sooner rather than later. I know, we already have so many TOS characters, and I don't want Pike and his crew to get lost in the shuffle. But Bones is my fave in TOS, and since the Kelvin universe seems to be in permanent limbo, it would be nice to get him in Strange New Worlds. Not sure about casting though. Carl Urban was perfect and really channeled DeForest Kelly.
How do you not do Carl Urban, right?
Just do Carl Urban.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
he's
do
not
it.
busy, right? Like,
No,
if Rebecca Romaine's not busy, then we know Carl Urban's not
Yeah.
busy.
What's he gonna do? Make Ghost Ship too? I mean, come on. What's he doing since then?
Well, when's the next episode season of The Boys coming out?
I think there's like a
Oh,
new
boy.
Riddick movie coming out too. And he
Oh,
was in
yeah,
one of
he's
those.
in
Yeah.
it.
He was in one of
I think
them.
he is. I
He
think
was in the
he's supposed to
second
be in
one.
it.
Yeah.
Well, he was in, and then like very briefly in the
Yeah.
third, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, to her point earlier, like now I do really want the Bones and Sam Kirk scene where they're bitching about Spock together.
I would like to see like more idealistic Bones, where he's like, "Yeah, we can solve these problems, guys. Hey, come on, everybody. There's no reason to be upset. Like, I
Golden
want to
Retriever
see him."
Bones. Yeah.
Yeah, like super excited to be there, just happy to be at work, and then give me the turning point, like where he decides, no, I am absolutely a curmudgeon from here on out. Like, because
He's
in
happily married when we meet him, and
yeah, in the Kelvin timeline, they tied it to his divorce, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
is that maybe overly simplistic for a character like that? Yeah, but like we know that he had a father. I believe we know he had a sister, if I'm not mistaken. So like, give me the idealistic, young, wide-eyed, bushy-tailed Bones, and then let me watch him change. And you know, maybe Spock can be part of that. And Spock's like, hey, you know, stuff happens. Like we lose people all the time. Speaking of his sister, and Bones is like, you are the most uncaring person I have ever met. How could you say that to me? Like, show me the turn. I'm here for it.
I like it.
I'm gonna be the bad guy. I do not want Bones to step foot on this show. Like,
Oh, I think
period.
you're going to be disappointed.
Probably.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just, it's coming. I feel like he's the next one.
I feel like it makes no sense to the story, to the series, to anything. Like, Bones is so connected to Jim Kirk, right?
Yeah.
As captain of the Enterprise, not as like, you know, lieutenant of the Farragut. Jim pulls Bones out of spaces to come on the starship like when he doesn't want to. And I think like maybe if Akiva gets his wish and we go like TOS reboot, we get the moment where like Jim's like, you need to come on the Enterprise and be my CMO. But like he doesn't belong on this show. I understand literally everybody that they've put on this show so far, but Bones would be so out of place and it would be really jarring, in my opinion.
Question, because I don't necessarily disagree with that. Would you be okay with Dr. Boyce showing up at some point?
I'm pissed off that Dr. Boyce isn't on the show. I feel like, no, really, I feel like that's also a decision that makes no sense. There was the fan campaign. I know we've talked about them not listening to fans too much. For Jeffrey Combs to play him, like when the show first came on. Again, it doesn't make much sense to me that he's not on. And I'm not saying get rid of Mbenga because God, he's so good. Babs is amazing, but I don't understand why they didn't go with that choice, especially knowing how close Chris and Boyce are. So I'd love him to maybe have like a guest spot, right? Like he comes back for a mission. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I'm
weird that
guessing
he's
they
not
just-
on the show.
I'm guessing they just didn't want like an old white guy on the
Well,
main cast.
okay, right, and I get that.
When you
too.
got Mbenga in the
Yeah.
wings, but
Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't been on as a guest in one episode at least.
Yeah.
Okay, Julian. While
Jesse.
we're casting actors that might be slightly too old to play James Boyce, what do you think about Charles Dance as Dr. Boyce? Like,
Real
I can't put a name to the face.
Tywin
Lannister.
Oh,
like
I think a little bit too
sinister.
Yes. I was going to put this delicately and say he's got too much like resting asshole face
Yeah.
for the
Too
role,
much
but
baggage is like every 80s villain.
yeah, right.
But I mean, if he's here for one episode, like I could buy him as warm but guarded absolutely a drinker. Like,
Definitely a drinker.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Jeffrey Combs.
I'm
He
Jeffrey
almost
it's
Combs.
looks
not a
like
bad
him.
call.
Yeah.
Or if they pull big, go Daniel Craig or somebody like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would
Daniel
that would
Craig would
absolutely
work.
work for me.
Colin
Yeah.
Farrell and just old age makeup.
Yeah.
Could they give him like the Irish bullseye accent
There we
though
go,
from
yeah.
Daredevil?
Oh no, please don't. I can't take after Section 31, I can't take another.
Oh.
Oh, good
Oh.
point. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, we will not see an
Had
Irish
to, had
accent.
to bring
in-
that up. No,
Wait,
never.
Irish accents and Trek do not go along well, do they? Nothing good ever happens when you mix those two.
Wait,
People always-
what about O'Brien?
Okay,
that-
but I'm talking
he's
more about
actually
Irish
Irish.
along
Well,
that.
so
Brian.
he's really
Yeah.
he's just talking. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
People talk about Code of Honor being incredibly racist, which it is. But I always argue that Up the Long Ladder is much more racist
yeah.
than Code of Honor.
Yeah.
It's not,
100%.
though.
Yeah.
It's not,
Well, and-
though.
It
And-
is though, Hawkeye. When's the last time you watched Up the Long Ladder?
I've watched it.
Recently? Dude, that
No,
episode.
dude, like this is TNG. Was my jam. Comparing the two, and that it was still always be Code of Honor for me. You know,
Draft always makes the point that, give that episode what it is, but it got a shit ton of black actors paid.
true.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Yeah.
anyway.
There's
Uh,
also the story that Colomini threatened to walk if they shot that DS9 episode as they originally intended. Instead of being Rumpelstiltskin, it was going to be a
Oh my
leprechaun.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I forgot about that episode.
same.
I'm going to go
Uh,
rewatch that after this.
Jesse, keep going. Let's get a want from you.
Okay, so like my capital A answer is all of it. Give me season 3. But I drilled down because I didn't want to be like too broad. Here's it's kind of a twofer. I'm cheating a little bit, okay? I want a fully animated episode of Strange New Worlds. Personally, for me, it could be anime and I would be happy. Like absolutely here for that. I think it would give the actors a nice week off. They could just hang out in the recording booth. And what better place to do animation than the Star Trek universe, as of course evidenced by Lower Decks. Now that Lower Decks is over, give me one animated episode per season. I don't care. I just want it. If I can't have that, give me a backdoor pilot. Like I want to know what's next in the Star Trek universe. I know we've got Academy coming up. I know that we have Tawny Newsom's workplace comedy Star Trek coming up. Very excited for that. But like, give me a little more hope, Paramount. You're not doing great on the hope for the Star Trek universe track right
Just got
now.
the news that Netflix passed on Prodigy season
Prodigy
3.
season
So
3,
Yeah. So like, give me something. Like even if it's not something that turns into a series, give me something that could turn into a series. I'm thinking of the Assignment Earth episode of TOS where they're like, this is totally
the
our backdoor
supervisors.
pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're gonna make a whole. It's gonna be American Doctor Who, but like we're gonna make a whole show out of what happens in this episode. Give me an episode with that kind of meat to it and that kind of departure from what we're used to,
Yeah.
because I want to believably have hope for more Star Trek. And right now, like I want Star Trek more than anything, and I want Strange New Worlds to continue more than anything. There's no part of me that realistically believes we will get more than 5 seasons of it. I
Same.
want
Yeah.
more than 5 seasons of it, but I am so worried right now. So like, just throw me a freaking bone here.
I don't necessarily disagree with that, Jesse, but for most people, they've had at most one Star Trek running at a time in their life, maybe 2. We have 3 different Star Treks in production right now. I mean, what are you asking for? What more are you asking for?
But we have 1 on the air.
Yeah, and with
Like-
2 more coming.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
and
Well,
And
let's,
more
Cameron,
this
let's
one
not
coming.
pretend that Tawny's is absolutely a lock, because that could get canned
production-
at any time, unfortunately.
True.
yeah, production on that has not started.
Yeah.
So like, to answer your question, Cameron, I'm angry that they put 5 Star Trek shows on at the same time and then went, now you get 1 Star Trek show at
You
a
got
time.
greedy.
I'm happy to admit that yes, I am getting greedy, but like, I'm also not going to pretend there's literally any reason I would subscribe to Paramount Plus outside of Star Trek.
Mhm.
Like I have
mean-
no problem saying that out loud.
You're not wrong that it's ridiculous that there can be this many Marvel shows and this many Star Wars shows and not the same amount of Star Trek. Like
Yeah.
Star Trek's got just as long a legs.
They made a mistake. I mean, listen, we've said it so many goddamn times, and we'll keep saying it. They made a huge mistake canceling Lower Decks. Cheap as hell to produce. Like, just keep it going. Have your just like 10, 12, 13-year animated series that you could just keep pushing out because it was never bad.
Yeah.
And it was always a fan favorite. There was never any division within the core base of it. Its core base just loved everything.
Yeah, if you watched Lower Decks, you loved Lower Decks. Like, yeah.
To me, it all so strongly smacks of a corporate 5-year strategy. Like, here's how we stay alive as a company for 5 years. We're going to implement our own streaming vertical. We're going to flood the market with Star Trek. All the Star Trek fans are going to love it. They're going to subscribe. It'll be great. And then instead of going, now let's evaluate how we go from here, they went, well, that's the end of the 5 years. Let's make a new 5-year plan. Like, it feels that way to me, like as somebody who has had a job before. Like, sometimes management just goes, oh, that's all we figured out, so now we have to start over. And it's like, no, you can use this as a diving board to go into the next thing. You don't have to start a new plan. And
the new
with all
five-year
of the
plan is the Taylor Sheridan era. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, or like, go back to licensing your shows, man. Like, you
We've
don't
been talking
need to,
about that for so long.
yeah, you don't
Yeah.
need to own the channel. Remember when you tried to have UPN? Like, just stop. Stop. Just license your shows out, make your money from other distributors, and syndicate one of these damn things already. Like, there are 19 police shows on CBS. Give me one Star Trek show on regular ass TV. Is that too much to ask? Like, come on.
Real nice.
It would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesse, I just want to follow up on your want there. Like, we kind of jokingly talked about it, and I think there is truth to Akiva wanting to do some form of TOS. Would you be pissed off if that was what was next for Star Trek? If they're like, okay, we are going to go back to Jim Kirk's Enterprise?
I personally wouldn't. I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, same.
I think the way to do that would be a time jump, which we know works for Star Trek viewers. Like, show, have Pike after 7 seasons, hand the ship over to Kirk, and then jump to the years of the Kirk 5-year mission we never saw.
Yeah, like the last 2. Yeah.
Yeah, like give us
because it
that.
never had a proper finale.
Exactly. The Star Trek TOS just stops. It doesn't end, it stops.
Yep.
Like, give us something in that era, maybe give me some of the stuff that's happened, between the movies. Like, there's no part of me that's ever going to say, I don't like your idea for this Star Trek show, please don't make it. I'm like, hey, whatever you come up with, if it's got Starfleet and Star Trek characters in it and it feels like this, I will give it a shot. I'm absolutely willing to try it out. There's only ever been, I was going to say, there's only ever been one series that just didn't work for me personally, and it's Enterprise.
Oh, you mean the one series that is canon to all other Star Trek, including the Kelvinverse?
I'm not disagreeing with that statement, because that would be stupid of me to do. But every time I sit down to try to watch Enterprise, I'm like, these are stories I have seen in other Star Treks. Also, I don't like Captain Archer.
Oh, he's a genocidal maniac. I hate Archer.
He's not a likable character.
No.
And I don't think every character needs to be likable, but I don't personally like him. And that is a difficult thing for me, because I like to like my Star Trek captains.
Yeah. No, good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
We are moving on with another Strange New Pod mailbag. This one is from Mars. Hawk, you take this?
Yeah, Mars wrote, I'd like some Strange New Worlds, please. I'm definitely in the yay, it's Trek camp. Some new ideas and directions. Less stuff we've seen before, as in please don't give us TOS in a new and shiny outfit. And definitely no dry hot dogs, thank you.
Yeah.
Dry hot dogs
Agreed.
are criminal. That shouldn't- Yeah.
I'm glad that debate transcribes. That's not the right word. Transcends all Strange New Worlds podcasts.
Yes, right. I mean, I agree with this. One thing that Strange New Worlds has not done a lot of yet is go to a lot of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. I think I counted 2.
yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose of the title.
Well, and
Yeah.
and the ones they go to, it's like very humanoid species.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see some more freaking Rongovians. Take me
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
Rongovian
Yeah.
planet. Like, give me new fun. Like, even if they're dumb, like the fish aliens from TNG were interesting, even
Mhm.
though they look terrible. Like, give me some terrible looking aliens of the week. I'm here for that. I don't care. You know, everything looks great in this show, but like, I wouldn't be upset if we got a bad makeup job every once in a while that was completely done on purpose, because obviously these people can't do poor makeup
Bad,
jobs.
yeah.
But like,
No.
God, there's amazing makeup.
just give, yeah, it's called Strange New Worlds. Let's visit some worlds we haven't seen, and give me some aliens I haven't seen. I
Yeah.
loved the customer service aliens from season 2. Like,
Yeah, the Kirkovians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they were very, I love them a lot, but they're a cloud of energy. Like, okay, give me some aliens that I can physically see on the screen.
Yeah.
Give me
Expert.
interesting cultural issues with them and the crew. Like, that's part of what we're here for.
Yeah, exploration and discovery. That's why I come to space shows. That's what I want. That sense of wonder.
Yeah.
100%. John, let's go down to you. What don't you want from season 3?
I'm going to be very specific here. I don't want them to be completely forgiven for blowing up that gas station in Lost in
Oh, yes, I've been
Translation.
thinking about that.
I really, really, really want a follow-up consequence. You know, somebody built that thing. A lot of people built that thing. There were a lot of plans hinged around that refinery, and I think it would just be fun. You know, I'm not saying serialize the whole thing, but it'd be fun if it got brought up. Like, hey, you did blow up some major infrastructure there. Like, yes, I get there were aliens in the gasoline, but still, you blew up, you know, a $2 trillion whatever gas station. So
It could be that nasty Vulcan admiral who was on
Yeah.
who led
Oh.
Una's trial, right? Like he's probably got some beef against the Enterprise.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
The
Yeah.
sulk. But
The
yeah,
Salk, yeah. Yep.
Nice pull.
Yeah. Nice pull. Very nice pull.
Yeah, not a court martial or anything. Just like
No.
he's got to work with someone. Someone comes on the Enterprise. They're like,
I designed
what?
that thing, you know,
Why
an
does this
angry
guy got such
architect.
beef with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just turns out to
Actually,
be-
Cameron, I'm going to disagree with you there. I want a court martial, and I want Nira Khatul defending the crew.
There you go.
Oh,
because
I think she's
we
coming back
need more of
somehow.
that.
I think she's coming back.
But it could be a comedy. She's like, there were aliens in the gas?
Yeah.
What?
We gotta go a different
Yeah.
direction with this, Chris.
You guys were there for our panel, I
Yeah.
believe, with
Yeah.
UT Day, and when we asked her like if there were any
Mhm.
future plans, she was very cagey.
It
Mhm.
certainly sounded like she had an
So-
NDA signed.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think we're headed back some way with the Illyrians. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Some
but-
callbacks. That's what
Yeah.
we want.
for sure. Yeah, that's a good don't want though, because that's something I think about every now and then. Like that thing was big, you
Big.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe we have one more mailbag from you guys, and then we actually have an audio from you guys as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so our good friend Michelle P says, I am begging the writers to wrap up the Spock Chapel romance. The storyline has fallen flat for me, especially because of what happens in TOS. I'd prefer less of that so they can move on to just being friends and we can see Chapel shine on her own. I agree with this, Michelle, and I feel like you're pretty likely to get your wish this season because, like, again, like we said, they're introducing Chapel's fiance. Spock is clearly having some issues this episode or this season, and I feel like they may just take the opportunity to move on a little bit and, you know, give us these characters in different relationships, not necessarily always romantic, but pair them with other characters, see what happens. And I do wonder though, do you guys think that we're going to have a set of episodes without Chapel because of this whole situation?
You know, I thought so, but then like she's in the trailer.
She's in on the trailer
so
a
much.
lot. Yeah.
It's like when is she gonna have time not to be there? But they also did cast Roger Corby, so it's like
Right.
you. I hope
Well-
that they explore that and it's not just one episode.
I mean, she literally got a I forgot what she got, but they set her up to leave the Enterprise
did,
for an
yeah.
extended period.
Yep.
And yet she was in every episode of season 2. So, I mean, they had the opportunity to send her off for a time if they wanted to.
Yeah.
They didn't take it.
Yeah.
And of all the
Honestly,
cast, it seems like Jess Bush would be like, yeah, I'm good being in fewer episodes.
True.
I'm wondering,
I could
wondering
see
if we get a
that.
bit of a time jump after the season premiere.
I
you know?
I am 99% convinced we do, because we go from short hair Uhura to Uhura letting her hair out.
Yeah.
I want to say there's like maybe like a 6 months to like a year time jump after the Gorn thing.
They're
Maybe
gonna
there's a
skip.
time
They're
jump
gonna
all
do a
the
middle.
Battlestar. They're gonna do a Battlestar.
Yeah.
probably, or in the middle, and they're actually all imprisoned by the Gorn for a year.
Oh, wild.
Just like
yeah.
all post-traumatic stress for the rest of the season after that.
I could
Yeah.
see them skipping all the episodes where Chapel is off the ship.
Right. They're like,
Yeah.
Like in episode 2, they'll be like, "Welcome back. How's it been
Yeah.
for the last year?" And she's like, "Oh, it was fun. The guy is he's weird, but he's okay."
They put in like the SpongeBob 5 minutes later.
And Spock goes, I know that guy.
yeah. What they call him? Cadet Robert? Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Sponge Robert.
Sponge Robert. Yes, that was so good. Hawk bringing up the time jump actually leads me into my don't want.
Hmm.
I do think there is going to be a time jump, and I want there to be a time jump. But with that, I don't want the show to forget that Pike's on the clock. They did a really good job of focusing on it with season 1. It kind of fell by the wayside in season 2. I know that he's accepted it, but it doesn't mean he has to like it. And I feel like as the year, I think we're all assuming that a show is basically like a season is a year.
Mhm.
So like, if he had 7 years, he's down to 4. If there's a time jump, he's down to 3. I would like to see it explored a bit, because how does that affect his relationship with Batel? How does that, affect his relationship with building relationships with his crewmates and the people under his command? It doesn't need to be anything major, but I don't want the show to forget that Pike has a fate.
Mhm.
I like
That's
that,
fair.
and
Yeah.
That's very fair.
I feel like they did in season 1. I feel like they did a good job of saying, "Look, this is affecting him. No, we're not going to change it." But like the emotional arc of him accepting it is basically over now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean there's no work to do with the character, to your point. And a thing we've talked about on Open Pike Night is, again, they haven't written that he dies. Like maybe he goes and spends 10 years on Talos 4, and then something else happens. Like maybe
Right.
like
Like
that,
they take
that
him to the
fate-
Kirkovians or something, right?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
maybe that
yeah.
fate still happens to him, but then there are stories left to tell after that, because it's freaking space. Like,
Yep.
I agree with you. I'm really hoping that we get not like, I wouldn't even say more Pike, right? Because like he's in the show.
Yeah.
There's no lack of Pike in my opinion, but like I would like some more exploration of his character. Like there's a Federation holiday that's his birthday. Let's find out why. Like is it just because everybody loves him or did something happen?
He was
right?
a slow guy.
It's actually because everybody loved his horse, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love more. I mean, because we dealt with him like, grappling with it in season 1, and John specifically always kind of makes the joke headcanon that like he does what he does because he knows today's not his day. And I want to hear him say that at one point. Like, are we going to die right now? Nope, not today.
Yeah. I'm not, at least. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, it's,
Yeah.
The shuttle is not crashing because
that's
I
when
know
a bunch
I'm
of
walking
red
away.
shirts die. He's like, come on, we got this. Just slaughter behind him, like, oh crap.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
reference Andor on Rogue One. We'll all die in the cold vacuum of space. Not me.
Yeah.
I could survive in space. So good. Cool. Well, we have one more mailbag. It's actually, as you guys do on your show, it's a call-in, and we're gonna go ahead and listen to it. It is from Abby, I believe. Correct, guys?
That's correct.
That's right.
All right. Cool. Let's play it.
Hey, Open Pike. It's Abby Summer from the First Flight Podcast, here with my what I do and don't want for Season 3. Gonna try to keep this to the time limit. So, zero surprise, but what I want is more amazing costumes and amazing hairdos, which I think we're totally getting from the preview. And I'm going to be watching for all those tiny details and ready to gush. I also want there to continue being an amazing soundtrack. And, perhaps before Season 3 we could get Season 2, just, saying. But some of those same themes coming back and around and then expanding on them because the music of Strange New Worlds is gorgeous. And I keep wanting to have episodes that completely absorb me, where you can't look away for a single second, whether it's a heavy one or it's a humorous one. I want something that is going to suck me in, and when I'm done, I was like, wow, that was an experience. Again, I don't think we're going to have a problem with that. Now, some things I don't want. I don't want them to double drop the first week. I don't want episode 1 and 2 back to back. As much as I want more Strange New Worlds, if we're not getting a ton of Trek this year, I want them spread out. I want 10 weeks with new Trek in them, so please don't double drop them. I also don't really want McCoy to show up yet. I love Mbenga, and I don't think his story is anywhere close to being done, so I want him to stick around. And McCoy, we'll get to you. You have your time. It's not yet. Time for Mbenga. And personally, as someone who writes a lot of episode titles out at times, can we keep them, fairly short and fairly easy to remember, because otherwise life just gets hard in the poor podcaster's brain. So those are all my thoughts. I hope this finds you in yours well, and we will talk soon.
Think of the podcasters.
Yeah. No, lift us where suffering cannot reach.
Yeah.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
Well,
And tomorrow. And
Okay.
tomorrow.
and Abby always brings excellent points when she calls into Open Pike Night, and she has continued to do so here. Two things. I'm going to add a bonus one here. I want them to put the freaking episode titles on the screen.
Yeah.
Put them at the end of the opening credits. You have a little space there between the two planets. There's time for it. Just do it. Why are they not doing that? Why is the only place I can see the title of the episode in the streaming app? It's never on screen. Do not like.
So
personally.
strange.
And then here's my question. Do we think that something that happens this season will be the reason that Mbenga is no longer the chief medical officer in TOS? Because I fully expected it to be under the cloak of war, but Pike was like, I trust you.
I'm not happy about it, but I trust you.
Yeah, he didn't get demoted. He's still the chief medical officer. We know at some point he's on the Enterprise, but not the CMO. So are we going to see that transition this season, or do we think that's more a season 4, season 5 thing?
I think it's more season 4.
Yeah,
season 5.
season
I wonder if
4,
maybe he just rubs Kirk the wrong way.
Yeah, that's I literally think it's when Kirk takes, and I hope it's when Kirk takes over the Enterprise and goes, no hard feelings, Joseph. I've known Bones for a long time. I'm making him my CMO. It's like when he fucking gave the shaft to Decker in Motion Picture, right? It's like,
Right.
I'm taking the ship because I'm better than you. You know?
Well, that I wouldn't call that no hard feelings, but
That's no hard. Yeah, that's not no hard feelings there.
I think it would be funny if Kirk came on the ship and was like, you know who I love is Klingons. They're my favorite. I hang out with Klingons all the time. And Mbenga's like, really? Because Klingons are not great. In fact, then he tells the whole story. And then Kirk's like, okay, well, that guy clearly can't be my CMO.
Yeah.
But I do. I mean, I mentioned. I do think the Pike and Mbenga story is coming to a head at some point. Like one of the writers basically said, like, no, what happened with the Ambassador is not over. I mean, I do think that ended with Pike being like, "Are you telling me everything? You're not holding anything back on me, are you? I think you might be holding something back on me. Oh shit!" Like, there's tension between them right now, I think.
Yeah.
There is. And I just want it stated for the record that from my perspective, hashtag Mbenga did nothing wrong.
Hashtag Mbenga did nothing wrong. Completely agree. Yep.
Disagree.
No,
I'm with Hop.
fully agree. Yep. Well, we did it, guys. We've gone through our wants, don't wants. We've gone through your listeners' wants and don't wants. We've gone through our listeners' wants and don't wants. Now all we need is the goddamn season.
Yeah. And to see who's right. Yeah.
And to see who's right. I would like to eventually go back and listen and be like, oh, we were close. And then not close at all. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the season. I know that you guys are too.
Yep.
You talked about diving deep into the barrel of trying to find content. What do you got coming up? Where can people find you? What's going on?
So the easiest place for folks to find us, if you're listening to this, just stay in this podcast app, put Open Pike Night into your search tab, will pop up. We actually just crossed 100 episodes
Woo!
before Strange New Worlds got to episode 21. So like I promise you there is something for you to like. We talk to everybody who makes this show, the actors, the writers, the showrunners, the composer, the costume designer,
Casting agents.
casting
agents.
They're
agents.
awesome.
Yes.
Very awesome, and we owe them a lot as Star Trek fans. And we have more interviews with folks like that coming up. And of course, the format of our show is a call-in show. You don't have to buy a ticket and fly to a faraway city and stand in line for 2 hours to ask a 15-second question to somebody who will answer it the same way they've answered it 100 other times. You can call in to Open Pike Night. We'll play your call for your favorite character or writer, etc., and they will expound upon their answer for you. The easiest way to become part of the show is just to go to openpike.com. Everything you need is right there. Episodes, merch, patron stuff. There's a way to record your call right there on the page. It's very easy to do. And of course, if you just want to like hang out in the Trek world and exchange fun memes, follow us on Blue Sky at Open Pike.
Yeah. And right now we are wrapping up our Disco Inferno season 2 coverage of Star Trek Discovery, the season where we are introduced to Anson Mount's Christopher Pike and Ethan Peck's Spock. We just finished the first half of the finale, so in a couple of weeks we'll have the final episode of that season dropping, and as far as we know, that should roll us right into the start of Strange New Worlds. But since we do not have, well, here's a want, like we said, a release date yet, although who knows, by the time you're hearing this, we might. We would love to cover episode 21 of Strange New Worlds in 2025 sometime.
And if we have to, yes, I will push John and Cameron into watching The Squire of Gothos as a little preview for season 3.
Yes,
Yes,
right.
do that.
Because come on, like
It's
Come on.
Trelane. It
it's
just is
Trelane.
Trelane.
Oh, it's Trelane.
I have
It's
seen that
Trelane.
one. I have seen
It's
that one.
Trelane. Cam, I know that we're doing Open Pike, but anything going on with Green Shirt?
Oh, please and thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just finished up the old TNG cast movies. I've watched all of TNG now. That was the shtick of Green Shirt. I never did. I did over the course of 7 years. We just finished the movies. Our last episode was on Nemesis. Tune into those. They're a lot of fun. We've got in the first season, I said, man, I would just love to talk to one of these background extras. I think that would be a lot of fun. Our next episode, we're recording it tomorrow, is with the background extra, Tracy Lee Coco. I am so excited to talk to her all about what it was like to just live on that set, basically.
Sit in that con chair, right? Yeah.
Right? Like, we know that those actors come up with some pretty incredible headcanon for their characters and what they would do with their own ships. So I can't wait to hear all that from her. And then we'll be taking a break this summer, so you've got all the time to fill in the backlog, and then we're coming back with Picard in the fall.
Ooh, okay, nice. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. That'll be great. Good stuff coming around from all you guys. John, Jesse, Cam, this was like an absolute blast. Love doing this. We got to do it again for season 4, which I think we're definitely going to get way sooner than we got season 3. So hopefully it won't be a year.
Why you gotta jinx it, Julian? Come on.
All right, I'm knocking all the wood. I'm rolling dice. Like, I don't know.
Stop saying
Get the
words.
salt.
Yeah. I'm gonna shut up and end the show now. So
It's going to be like the streaming platform employees striking or something. It's going to be some
Right.
weird thing. That
Yeah, there'll be
every
there'll be a
show
thing.
is on hold.
no,
for-
you know what'll happen is the Skydance deal will finally go through, and
yeah.
there'll just be
Right.
like a hold on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
all right, I'm gonna-
I do want to say to you, Julian, and to you, Hawk, and to everyone at Strange New Pods, thank you guys so much for having us. Like, your guys' show really is the model of what a cool, fun, independent, community-driven Star Trek podcast can be. Like, the
We've seen it
collective behind you
firsthand in
guys.
person.
Yeah, the people that talk about your show, the people that love your show, that participate in it. I mean, your fans are legion. And when we started, we were like, man, if we could like get close to that level, we'd feel really good about it. So like, keep doing what you guys are doing.
yeah.
We're very excited to even be adjacent to you guys. And I agree, we got to do this again.
for sure,
Absolutely.
for
My
sure.
heart
And
is swelling.
Yeah. No, seriously, like thank you for those words. It truly means a lot.
Maybe we'll have you guys on after season 3 to have like a recap.
Yeah, let's do
fun.
it.
Idea.
Let's do it
Yeah.
for sure. Well, yeah, that is going to do it for that one. Thank you again for the kind words. We are keeping the Strange New Worlds love going. Next week, we will be back with our interview with New York Times bestselling author James Swallow about his brand new Strange New Worlds novel, Toward the Night. If you have not picked it up yet, it is out of the 3 Strange New Worlds books out. It is my favorite so far. Pick it up at your favorite book retailer. That interview is next Thursday. For Hawk, for Cameron, for John, for Jesse, I'm Julian. Live long and prosper. Majram, always a sarcastic Vulcan salute. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.